When this young man woke up, he saw an egg floating in front of his face. Xiaolun thought he was just hallucinating from playing Free Fire for over 180 minutes last night. So he must be hallucinating, but he could even see eggs above other people's heads. The only difference was that their eggs were white, while Xiaolun's was black. What's more, there was a string of numbers on the egg that looked like a countdown. This is so surreal. If this thing turns out to be some kind of ticking bomb, I'm totally screwed. In class, his friend Li Yan suddenly invited Xiaolun to hang out tonight, saying that their senior Yao Tian had found a massive giant egg and wanted to invite all the guys to feast their eyes on it. Believing this might be related to the black egg on his head, Xiaolun agreed at exactly 7 p.m. Everyone gathered at West City Park. The young man with the middle-parted hair was named Yao Tian, and he was the one who had invited them here. But Xiaolun suddenly noticed that within the group, this guy was the only one without an egg on his head. Soon the group approached a wall that had existed ever since Xiaolun was born. It surrounded the entire world, and legend said that anyone who successfully crossed the wall would reach the world outside. Upon arriving, the group began to urge him, "Yao Tian, hurry up and show us the big egg so we can all admire it." But he didn't respond, only flashing a sinister smile. A second later, a red egg emerged from his head. Witnessing the horrifying scene, the group freaked out and quickly tried to bail. But before Xiaolun could get far, two demonic hands instantly sprouted from Yao Tian's back. The monstrous hands grabbed him tightly. At that moment, the red egg on his head had transformed into a monster. It opened its mouth wide, intending to devour the black egg. But his egg was on a whole other level. Totally outclassing it, the black egg quickly used a stealth technique, trapping the red egg in a powerful illusion that left it completely bewildered immediately after a pair of sharp wings suddenly sprouted from the black egg's sides. With just a few simple strikes, the red egg was instantly obliterated, and with it, Yao Tian's body collapsed. It seems that if the egg is destroyed, the person is finished as well. As Xiaolun was lost in thought, not noticing what was behind him, a seed slowly grew from the fragments of the red egg. When the seed fell to the ground, a parasite broke out from within. It stealthily crawled toward Yao Tian's corpse and quickly burrowed straight into his leg. Suddenly, Yao Tian's motionless body began to convulse violently. Then, before Xiaolun's astonished and disbelieving eyes, the corpse stood up and stared at him with a hateful gaze. Xiaolun felt a chill run down his spine. Breaking out in a cold sweat, he suddenly realized that the revived Yao Tian now had a hole in his chest that looked like a keyhole. Looking up, he saw that the countdown on his black egg had begun. He forced a smile so shocked, he felt like he could just keel over. There wasn't much time to begin with, and he honestly just wanted to ignore it all and lie down. Just then, dark clouds rolled across the sky as Yao Tian advanced, emanating a powerful red aura. Your egg is pitch black, unlike ours. You must be an aberration." Xiaolun backed away step by step. Confused aberration. "What do you mean, aberration? Can't you say something that makes sense?" Yao Tian's expression suddenly darkened. He tilted his head and spoke slowly. "You human. You must have realized by now that the people around you are all white eggs, haven't you? They are food, while red eggs like me are soldiers, and you, the black egg, are an aberration." Xiaolun glanced at the black egg above, then back at Yao Tian before him. For a moment, he was completely bewildered. Red egg soldiers, aberration. This is making my head spin. I don't even know why mine is black. His skin suddenly turned ashen. Yao Tian bared his teeth in a grin and rasped, "Aberrations can be captured or hunted, but I much prefer the hunt." The moment he finished speaking, he shot into the air, startling Xiaolun in the blink of an eye. Yao Tian closed the distance at an incredible speed, appearing right in front of him. Sharp claws grew from his fingertips as Yao Tian swung his arm down. Forcefully caught off guard, Xiaolun was slashed, and the attack drew blood, sending him stumbling to the ground. Finally reacting, Xiaolun stared up at the black egg in utter shock. "Why isn't it?" he thought with a jolt. "Why isn't it helping me? Weren't you so high and mighty just a moment ago?" Seeing his opponent freeze, Yao Tian pulled back his hand and sneered. "Oh, so you were counting on that thing? That's impossible." Xiaolun turned to look at him in disbelief. Yao Tian grinned, revealing two fangs, and continued, "When we're still in egg form, we cannot attack humans independently unless..." As if triggered by his own words, Yao Tian lunged forward again to merge with a human, seeing the figure rushing toward him. Xiaolun quickly leaned and jumped to the side, where white vapor rose from the ground struck by the claw. Yao Tian raised his head and glared forward at Xiaolun. Taking advantage of his lack of reaction, he bolted. What is all this about? There's no way I want to merge with an egg and turn into such a horrifying form. But just a second later, with a single leap, Yao Tian appeared right behind him. Then he kicked Xiaolun hard in the back. Caught off guard, he was knocked flat on his stomach. Yao Tian leaped up again, quickly pinning Xiaolun's sides with his feet. Before he could get up, his face had already turned pale. Yao Tian bared his teeth and grinned, raising his long claws. "Let me smash your head to pieces." Cold sweat trickled down his cheek. Xiaolun turned his head in fear. "I'm about to die now." Suddenly, a hazy vortex appeared before the two of them. Yao Tian froze mid-motion, his body suddenly stiff. How strange. Why can't I move all of a sudden? Xiaolun seemed to notice it too. He was startled for a moment. Yao Tian's eyes gradually became dazed. Seizing the opportunity, Xiaolun shot up and threw him off. He couldn't help but wonder, what is this guy trying to do? The vortex from the black egg gradually receded. Xiaolun stopped being curious and just bolted. Whatever, I'll run first and figure it out later. He dashed past the withered branches. Xiaolun just kept running without looking back. After a long while, he finally began to notice his surroundings. This is strange. I've been running for over half an hour. Why haven't I left the radiation zone yet? Could it be that I'm lost? Something was nimbly leaping through the branches above. Below, Xiaolun was still focused on running. Damn it, I wonder if that guy is still chasing me. And I can't run much longer. At this moment, someone was sitting on a branch looking down at him. And Z couldn't hide his excitement. Master that all-black thing made the soldier egg's time freeze. It must be the apocalypse egg. Nan, who hadn't taken his eyes off the scene, heard this and cautioned, don't jump to conclusions so easily. Let's observe a little longer. After a while longer, the forest had become completely quiet. Xiaolun escaped the forest and ran straight to a cave. Great, there's a cave up ahead. I'll hide in there first and figure things out later. Stepping inside, he leaned against the rock wall, panting. I'm exhausted. He then looked at the black egg in the air. Xiaolun couldn't contain his curiosity. That's right. That guy couldn't move just now. Was it you who helped me? The time left was now only a few minutes. Xiaolun was startled as he realized, wait a minute, this timer. He looked up, his eyes wide and mouth agape in shock. Why are there only 3 minutes left? Impossible. There was clearly a lot more time before. Watching the time tick down, Little Lun quickly thought, this is bad. If this thing blows up like a bomb, staying here is a death sentence. He clung to the cliff wall and started to move out, telling himself he had to leave quickly. But was it the panic? His whole body felt drained of all strength. But just as he turned, Little Lun slumped to the ground, having made up his mind. Well, death is death, no matter where it happens. He hung his head as the timer counted down from 20 seconds. Taking a deep breath, Little Lun snapped his head up and yelled, "This is so damn annoying. Just bring it on." He said that, but he couldn't hide his anxiety swallowing hard as he watched the timer go from 4 seconds down to 1, his eyes glued to the black egg. At that moment, the number on it flashed and hit 0. Little Lun covered his face and turned away, screaming in fear, "I don't want to die yet." When nothing happened, he curiously peeked out only to see the black egg's wings fold in. Something seemed to appear inside as black lightning arced out. Stunned Little Lun lowered his hands. A volley of black light beams shot into the air, and from within the egg, a key emerged. His jaw dropped. What is this, a key? The black egg then flew lower, presenting the key to him handle first. Little Lun was still in disbelief. Is it telling me to take it? With that thought, he hesitantly reached out. With a soft click, Little Lun pulled the key from the egg's body, and the numbers on it immediately began to shift. Little Lun watched intently, surprised to see the clock on the black egg reset to a full 24 hours. What's happening? Why did the time restart? At the same time, someone was approaching the cave entrance, humming a tune. Yao Tian's face was grim, but a stiff smile was plastered on his lips as he advanced. Nan and Angie were observing from a distance. Seeing this, Angie remarked, "That sapper has some real nerve going in there. Should we follow?" Nan immediately gave the order, "Follow, but under no circumstances. Are you to let them discover our presence?" Inside the cave, it was dead silent. Little Lun was still dazed, wondering what on earth was going on. Why did it restart again? He failed to notice Yao Tian had already entered the cave. The man's eyes were wide, and a soft, appreciative sigh escaped his smiling lips. The sound made little Lun jump. Trembling, he spun around. "No way! Why are you here?" Yao Tian stepped forward, slowly, lightly licking a trace of blood from his fingernail. "Your blood smells so very sweet." Little Lun sighed in despair. This was already complicated enough. And now this guy just had to get involved. Is he not going to be happy until he kills me? At that thought, his eyes grew wide and teary. He looked at the black egg with a pitiful expression, pleading, "Please, black egg, help me again. If you help me get out of this, I'll try to give you whatever you want." But the black egg was completely still. Then with a whoosh, its whole body suddenly spun in midair. One of its wings pointed to the key in Lun's hand. The other pointed to the black hole on Yao Tian's chest, who was now saying in disbelief, "You're just an egg and you want to attack me." Someone who is fused with a human. As he finished speaking, he impatiently swung his claws, slashing through the air. "You're daydreaming." Lun's eyes widened, completely unable to react. He thought to himself, "Black egg, you mean you want me to stick this key into the keyhole on his chest, right?" Only then did the black egg nod. Lun immediately tightened his grip on the key. "All right, I get it." Seeing him turn to look, Yao Tian taunted him. "Since when did you have such a big key in your hand? Are you planning to use that cheap toy to attack me?" But Lun was focused on the keyhole on his chest. He then took a running start and dashed forward. Yao Tian closed his eyes and let out a breath. Ridiculous! The moment Lun thrust the key forward, Yao Tian leaned aside and dodged it with ease. Then he swung his leg, kicking Lun and sending him flying into a nearby cliff wall. He winced in pain, thinking this guy is too fast. It's so hard to get close. Up ahead, Yao Tian smugly spread his arms, walking closer with a grin. "I never thought a human like you could be so foolish. How could you possibly hurt me even a little using that slow thing to attack me?" Lun pressed his lips together, a spark of determination reigniting in his eyes. "Looks like he really hasn't noticed the keyhole on his own body. In that case, I still have a chance." Thinking this, he gently placed the key down. Lun pushed himself up and shouted tauntingly, "This piece of junk weapon is terrible to use. My fists are still more satisfying. Come at me, you worthless grunt." These words seemed to have provoked Yao Tian. Worthless. As soon as the words left his mouth, he dashed forward and grabbed Lun tightly by the neck. "Who are you calling worthless?" he said while clawing at Lun's face. Seizing this moment, Lun gripped the key again and shouted, "Black egg, throw rocks at him now." Hearing this, Yao Tian was startled and turned his head. Lun took the key and plunged it straight into the hole on his chest. Feeling the movement, Yao Tian glanced down. Behind the cliff, Nam, who was hiding and watching, was startled. "We're doomed." A stream of blue energy began to pour out of the keyhole. Lun's eyes widened in shock. What is happening? Right after that, the blue light in his eyes dripped down like a drop of water. Lun's body was uncontrollably sucked in by a powerful force. He woke up with a start. Everything in front of him had completely changed. Looking around at the giant spheres and the strange black mass ahead, Lun shouted, "What in the world is going on?" Just then, Nam rushed out from nowhere, grabbing his arm and whispering, "Idiot, don't be so loud. Hurry and hide." Lun turned back in surprise and instinctively ran after him. The two of them then hid behind a boulder. From a distance, Fanla approached, his voice echoing through the space. "Tinos, did you hear that noise just now?" Tinos nodded in reply. Noza heard it too. A very faint sound like insects. Lun's eyes widened in shock. He clamped his mouth shut, watching the giant figures of Fanla and Tinos walk past. He thought in terror, giants. What is going on? Just like that, the two of them silently watched as the two figures gradually disappeared. Only then could Lun lower his hand and let out a breath. So scary. Where on earth is this place? Why did I suddenly appear in this place? As he thought of this, he looked down at the key in his hand. Wait, this very key is what brought me here. Right, Black Egg. He looked up to see Black Egg nodding in silent confirmation. Lun's face immediately turned pale, his expression helpless as he lamented internally. "Oh my God, why can't you just let me live in peace? In a normal way. Did you really have to drag me to this godforsaken place?" Nam beside him was looking at him with a bewildered expression. Sensing the gaze, Lun snapped back to his senses, startled, and turned to stare intently at Nam, thinking to himself, This kid can actually space jump to the world of the giants. I remember that person also brought me here once, but my memories from that time are fragmented. He paid no mind to the other, still lost in his thoughts. But this place, I have some impression of it. If my guess is correct, this is where the giants are assembled. Lun pressed his lips together, finally whispering in a low voice. That is... Before he could continue, Nam cut him off in a low voice. Save the other stuff for later. Let's get out of here first. Lun quickly agreed. All right. After they agreed, the two of them quickly left their hiding spot. Nam led the way, with Lun carefully running behind him. As he ran, he took the chance to observe their surroundings. Those big round orbs floating up there. What on earth are they? Above the two of them, countless pitch-black orbs with a strange blue glow were floating. There are quite a few of them, Lun thought. Suddenly, Nam raised his hand, signaling them to stop. At that moment, an orb in the sky began to suck in streams of coalescing energy. Lun's eyes widened in amazement. As he mumbled, "Is something about to appear?" Nam beside him didn't answer, thinking to himself, this progenitor orb is about to reproduce. Just a second later, a slimy substance dripped down from its black orifice. A strange shape appeared the moment the slime hit the ground. Hiding behind a rock, Lun couldn't contain his curiosity. What is that? Before them, a creature resembling a merman with a sickly green body trembled as it crawled out. Lun was startled, his mouth agape. A faceless merman Nam in front of him also widened his eyes in disbelief. A human-beast hybrid. That makes sense. This place is already teeming with giants. There's no need to turn humans into giants anymore. Suddenly, a pair of giant eyes appeared behind them, causing the two of them to freeze. From behind, Tino slowly stepped out, his deep voice rumbling. Found you. So it was just two little bugs playing around in the progenitor fields. It swung its sharp claws towards Lun. Nam reacted in time, quickly pushing his head down. Then he launched himself into the air. Just like that, Nam shot straight towards Tino. A blue light of power emanated from his hand. He raised his arm high. Nam swiftly waved his hand, launching the power to strike Tinos' body. He didn't forget to glance back behind him, reminding the other, take care of yourself. Lun, regaining his composure, jumped to his feet. Got it. Thanks. Then, taking the opportunity, he turned and ran. As he ran, Lun looked around, thinking to himself, damn it, at a time like this, I'm completely useless. All I can do is run. Lun, you're so pathetic. Suddenly, someone flicked their finger. Something shot past Lun at high speed, severely injuring him in an instant. Lun's body collapsed limply onto the ground. Black Egg looked up, startled to see Fan La approaching. At that moment, Black Egg's entire body began to tremble uncontrollably. In a daze, Xiaolun's body was sinking underwater, surrounded by flashes of spiraling light. A voice echoed from within him. Am I dead yet? Damn it. Is my whole life really going to end just like this? I still haven't found my birth parents. I don't want to die yet. I also really want to be loved by my parents, just like everyone else. So at least let me know who they are before taking me away. Just then, an egg shot out from his body into the distance. Seeing this fawnless figure couldn't help but pause. His whole body froze, and he thought with annoyance, is this damn egg playing tricks? Why isn't my body obeying my commands? All he could see now was the black egg. It was continuously transferring energy into Xiaolun's unconscious body. A moment later, his body suddenly blurred. Then it turned into a cloud of purple smoke. Seeing this, Fanla couldn't help but be startled. It's gone from the ground, covered in the purple liquid. A small droplet suddenly flew up. After that, streaks of black liquid were pulled along, and they gradually gathered to form some kind of shape. In just a moment, a body gradually formed. The egg, now white, floated above the head of a silver-haired person. At this moment, Xiaolun was in a state of shaman transformation. Fully awakened, he glanced around, and his body immediately radiated a dense aura. Seeing this, Fanla couldn't hide his astonishment and withdrew his hand. What is this strange aura? This is not good. This insect is extremely dangerous. I have to get out of here now. Xiaolun was walking towards him, step by step. At the same time, Fanla was being pinned to the ground by Tinos' claws. Sensing something, Xiaolun was startled and turned his head to look back. Then he turned and quickly ran towards him, pushing off the ground with his feet to leap up. Xiaolun shot forward, unleashing a continuous barrage of punches down on Tinos' face. Waves of power radiated out as Tinos was struck, unable to react in time at the same moment. Nam also jumped up, escaping its claws. Seeing this, Shaolun, radiating with aura, kicked Tino's hard in the face, then spun around and backed away. He gathered momentum again and lunged forward. Shaolun's figure moved nimbly, swinging his leg to kick straight at Tino's. With just one kick, it was sent flying to the ground. At this moment, Nam was still watching Shaolun intently. He turned and reached out a hand to help him up, looking at the hand still radiating with aura in front of him. Nam couldn't help but think in awe, this ceaseless surge of power is terrifying. Then he took Shaolun's hand to pull himself up. Thank you. At the same time, Tino's in the distance stirred 3 orbs appeared above its head. Those 3 orbs began to glow and blue lightning arched out from within them. Then they connected to form a triangle. Nam's 2 eyes widened. His whole body jolted as he yelled, "This is bad, run!" A powerful surge of energy burst out. Damn, you die. Tino's lowered its head, unleashing all its power forward, but Shaolun stepped up and blocked it with a single hand. Tino's raised its head in disbelief. What is this? Just then, Shaolun turned around, a series of incomprehensible sounds coming from his mouth. As expected, both Amchi and Flam were momentarily stunned. Shaolun was still holding back that power with one hand. Just then, the black egg rushed forward to translate. It swung its staff and said a piece for everyone. No one gets left out. Seeing that Nam was still confused, Shaolun opened his mouth again, trying to make a sound. As if to say, "Black egg, what's happening to me?" The black egg explained in combat state voice chat is disabled. Shaolun cried out again. Voice chat is disabled. Why? In the back, Amchi flew back and forth, trying to interpret it one for one so nobody owes anybody anything. Nam watched with wide eyes, it seems to be. Right then, the black egg suddenly reminded him, "Get serious. Use your strongest move now." Only then did Shaolun realize he turned back, his eyes focusing ahead. A dense aura emanated from his fingertips, and Shaolun couldn't help but marvel to himself. So this is a strong move. How amazing. The steps to perform the technique suddenly appeared in my mind, and I'm already executing it so proficiently. Bolts of lightning enveloped that energy. The black egg beside him cheered. Right, this is called Nanglian Thanthak energy, Shaolun thought to himself. Please, this is corrosive energy. Then, a second later, a massive surge of energy burst from his hand, enveloping all of Tino's power. Struck by the unexpected counterattack, Tino's couldn't react in time. Its whole body staggered. As the power piled on more and more, Tino's eyes widened, and it collapsed directly onto the ground. Only then did Shaolun wave his hand to withdraw that power source. Seeing this scene, both Nam and Anchi were simultaneously speechless. Then they stared at each other with wide eyes. The black egg then reabsorbed the energy it had transferred into his body. Shaolun gradually returned to normal. He finally regained his voice. What happened? I can speak again. The aura has returned. The black egg quickly regained its original color, reached the limit. Hearing this, Shaolun couldn't help but be curious. You mean the absolute limit, right? From afar, Fanla had been secretly observing everything. These 2 bugs both have an egg next to them. Could it be an ancient egg relic? His gaze focused on Anchi and the black egg. No way. It can't be. The more he thought about it, the more he couldn't accept it. Even Lord Yaksha couldn't revive the ancient ones based on just these 2 bugs. I must be overthinking things. The eye in front of him suddenly emitted a faint bolt of lightning. From within, a soft voice transmitted, "Colleagues, Lord Yaksha has brought that important figure to the giant's flower garden through the bronze mirror gate. All giants nearby prepare and await orders." Sensing this, both Nam and Shaolun were startled and looked over. At this moment, Fanla slowly pressed a button on his hip, thinking, "This is great. So Lord Yaksha has returned. Offering them to the Lord will surely be wonderful. Let's go with that plan." Immediately after, from that button came an extremely piercing sound. Both of them were stunned, seeing Fanla with his hand on the button at his hip. Shaolun shouted, "Is that a warning sound, or are you signaling your comrades?" At the same time, waves of liquid rose from the ground beneath their feet. Just a second later, a giant beast appeared. Startled, Shaolun turned around, too shocked to speak. Beside him, Nam was just as terrified. From out of nowhere, a series of giant beasts advanced simultaneously, gradually surrounding the 2 of them. Shaolun's eyes went wide as he stared blankly around. What the hell is this? Why are there so many power radiated from his hand, as Nam reminded him in a low voice? What are you spacing out for? Let's cooperate and break through the encirclement first. As soon as he finished speaking, he took off and leaped up. Xiaolun stood there watching Nam cut a path through a series of beasts to break the encirclement. He was so shocked, his jaw dropped, thinking to himself, so strong. It looks like he can handle them all by himself. He doesn't need my help at all. Thinking this, Xiaolun quickly ran to follow him. At that moment, a sharp claw swiped at him, but even while running, Xiaolun was able to nimbly dodge it. At the same time, a sharp tail lashed out. Xiaolun easily jumped over it, making even himself wonder what's going on as he ran and dodged every single attack. He couldn't help but marvel at how amazing it was. I can actually dodge the attacks from these grotesque creatures so easily. Why are the movements of these grotesque creatures so slow at this moment? Nam, who was attacking a beast, also noticed Lun easily dodging the attacks. Chi said with some surprise, "Master, this kid's agility is pretty good, isn't it?" Nam kept watching and explained, it's not that his agility has improved, but that he has slowed down the attacks of those monstrous creatures. Now I can be 100% certain that the black egg is the egg of destruction mentioned in the ancient texts. Chi seemed to have thought of something. How about the two of us run? But Nam, still not taking his eyes off the enemy, cut him off. No. We are now in the world of the giants. The situation is unstable, so this is not the best time to seize its power. Chi, a bit confused, said quietly, "But Master, if we could take the black egg's power sooner, we could leave this place sooner, and return to save Lady Feyre sooner." Nam suddenly waved his hand, his power flaring up as he snapped, "Don't be rash. Focus on the current situation." Chi, frightened, quickly replied, "Understood." Lun leaned back, dodging two claws that stabbed at him, looking amused. "Hey, black egg, look. I can handle this easily too." The black egg beside him reminded Kiddo, "You need to hurry up that giant. It will be able to move in 2 minutes." Hearing this, Lun was startled for a moment. "What?" The black egg in the air then instructed, "Remember to go back. You have to want to die." Hearing that, Lun suddenly stopped, a puzzled look on his face, muttering, "Wanna die?" "That's right." The silver key, the black egg, continued to go back. "You have to rely on want to die." At that moment, he remembered, "I almost forgot." The silver key, he recalled that the key was on the ground near Fanla, and it was still there now. Lun was certain, that's right, it was dropped near the giant. He turned and ran back the way he came. Seeing this, Nam didn't ask, only wondering to himself, where is that kid running off to? The surrounding area was quiet. Lun dodged a series of beasts and quickly ran towards the key. It really is here. At that moment, Fanla from above was looking down. Seeing this, the black egg urgently prompted Kiddo hurry up. Lun quickly bent down to pick up the key, I know, as he saw the giant's hand reaching for him. The black egg yelled in alarm. "This is bad, Kiddo. He's trying to get it first." Hearing the shout, Lun was startled and turned his head just as Fanla's fist slammed violently into the ground. When he lifted it, the spot was empty, with only shattered rock left behind. Fanla's body trembled slightly, and he froze. He thought angrily, what the hell? It was so hard just to be able to move again. And now I'm frozen again. The smoke and dust gradually cleared, revealing the figure of the black egg, carrying Lun in the distance. He held the key in his hand, his eyes wide, panting nonstop. I thought I was a goner for sure. "Thanks, black egg." The black egg then moved slightly, carrying Lun further, before gently placing him on the ground. A second later, the black egg's whole body went limp. It fell powerlessly, but luckily Lun reached out and caught it in time. He temporarily held the key in his mouth and checked on the black egg. "Black egg, what's wrong with you? Can you hear me?" "Black egg." A series of questions rang out, but the black egg remained silent. Lun became worried. "Black egg, don't scare me." Fanla, who could now move again, swung his arm as his deep voice echoed, "So, it really was because of this thing that I was frozen." The eye in the center of his forehead flashed with a cold glint. Fanla growled, "Without this thing to help you, let's see where you can run." Seeing this, Lun hugged the black egg and turned to flee. He thought to himself, "Don't worry, I won't let anything happen to you." Before he got far, Fanla easily lifted him off the ground with one hand. The man said smugly, "Look, little worm, where can you possibly run?" Just then, a sound came from the distance. It was Tino's running over. Seeing it, Fanla was overjoyed. Tino's, that's great. You're okay. Suddenly, Tino's braced itself and stomped hard on the ground. Fanla watched, slightly startled. He only saw Tino swiftly move forward and snatch Xiaolun, watching it get further and further away. Fanla was stunned and quickly shouted from behind Tino's, "Wait, Tino's, what's wrong with you?" The Tino's ahead paid no attention and just turned to run straight away. Looking back, Xiaolun thought with some confusion, "What is going on? Is it helping me? Could the energy corrosion technique have a control and submission effect?" Xiaolun was a bit tense as he was held in Tinos' mouth and carried away. Very quickly, Flam arrived at the spot. Before he could react, Xiaolun urged him, "Hurry up, it's on our side." Amchi and Flam were a bit dazed. But he still replied, "I know." He quickly jumped up high. Flam landed gently on Tinos' back, and it immediately charged forward, running non-stop. Meanwhile, Fanla was behind them, screaming his throat hoarse. "Tinos!" The man's footsteps suddenly stopped. "Wait a minute." Fanla lowered his head and speculated this little egg can control Tinos. If that's the case, then I might be able to use its power to reclaim the giant shell from the Insect Emperor. This time, I will definitely receive praise from Lord Yagui. The scene shifts to where Tinos is running. Xiaolun, holding the black egg, introduced himself without looking back. "My name is Fang Xiaolun." "What's your name? Are you from around here?" Nam introduced himself and honestly recounted, "My name is Dong Nam, and we came here together through a spatial leap. I was in the cave at that time. I went in because I detected an anomaly with the sapper egg." His words stunned the boy. "A time jump. Could that be the black egg's ability?" Suddenly, Amchi approached Xiaolun. While he was still dazed, it confirmed, "That's right, this is its ability." Xiaolun stared blankly at the egg, the black egg, and the key. "So this key must be what we use to go back, right?" Suddenly, Flam angrily shouted, "Amchi!" hearing that Xiaolun was startled and turned his head. Meanwhile, it seemed unconcerned as a whip suddenly appeared from the black egg. The whip swung fiercely toward Amchi, leaving it no time to react. Seeing this, Flam rushed forward, pulling it into his arms to shield it. Seeing it move, he happily called out, "Black egg, you're awake." Nam stepped back without another word. He quietly scolded Amchi, "If I hadn't called out, were you going to be that reckless? Are you hurt?" It immediately replied in a trembling, remorseful voice, "Master, I am fine. I'm sorry." Suddenly, Xiaolun was startled when he noticed something strange. "What is this?" There's a wall ahead. Before them was a wall blocking their path. Since they couldn't go any further, the four of them had to get down to investigate. Xiaolun touched it with a look of amazement. "It feels like a wall." This feeling, could it be that this place is outside the wall? Could our original world be right on the other side of this wall? The black egg standing beside him suddenly trembled. Noticing it, he couldn't help but worry. "Black egg, are you still okay?" Sensing Xiaolun's concern, the black egg quickly reassured him, "I'm fine." Gong Gong activated the backup cage for defense. "I'm just a little tired and can't use my powers for now." Xiaolun turned to look at it in shock. Defense. "Did that Amchi egg attack you?" The black egg replied a bit reluctantly, "I'm not really sure, it just activated instinctively. But little buddy, we can't trust other people too much." After hearing that, you also think it makes sense. I get that part now. Anyway, after that incident, I stopped trusting people. Xiaolun's childhood memories resurfaced once again. "I knew you were fakes. You're not my real parents." Go away in his memory at that time. The other two just looked at Xiaolun and let out a savage laugh. Seeing him so distraught, Nam also turned his attention to him. He quickly spoke up. "Let's first try to get a handle on the current situation. How are you feeling?" Xiaolun replied dazedly, "Huh? Okay, you talk." After a moment of observation, the two of them stood facing each other to talk. Nam was the first to speak. He said that he had inserted the key into the red soldier egg's lock. "And then I ended up here." "That sounds about right." The black egg must have made him a broker for the door. This information made Xiaolun unconsciously clench his fists. The red soldier egg is a broker for the door. Nam affirmed seriously, "That's right. The fact that he isn't here is the best proof." Only then did Xiaolun look dazedly at the key in his hand. "Ah, so it was because of this key all along." Xiaolun turned suspiciously to the black egg. "Black egg, you tell me, where in the world is this place? Are we really outside the wall?" It suddenly moved a few times, startling him. The black egg, without a single word, dropped to the ground. It used its tail wing to draw a few lines on the ground. Nam watched its every move seriously. Xiaolun also watched it dazedly until it was finished. Only then did the black egg open its mouth to explain, "I'm done drawing. We are here." What it had drawn was a map in the shape of an egg. Xiaolun became more and more confused. "I don't understand this at all. Are we in another egg-shaped world? It's so strange outside this wall. So bizarre." Even Flam was stunned for a moment by the sight. We're not outside the wall, but inside it." Hearing that, he looked up in shock. This left him speechless. The black egg, on the other hand, was still explaining diligently, "That's right. According to the diagram, we are still inside the wall. Look, this is where we are standing." Xiaolun was startled, unable to believe it. "What? The place we were originally in is just a small part of this egg. How is that possible?" It continued to run around to point things out. "This is Shounen. This is me, and then this is our current position." He knelt down, pointed, and asked, "What about this large part?" The black egg shrugged helplessly. "This area hasn't been revealed yet. According to it, the small area at the top has been revealed, but the large area at the bottom has not." But Xiaolun looked down in astonishment. Such a vast area still hasn't been revealed. This egg-shaped wall is truly enormous. The area we live in is just a tiny part of it, but it doesn't really look like a sphere. The black egg pointed to the area just above and explained, "That is the fifth visual zone created by the brain." Nam immediately seemed to understand a part of it. To be more precise, it's an illusion created by the wall. As usual, Xiaolun didn't understand what was happening. The wall again. He slowly opened his mouth. Sometimes what you see with your eyes may not be real. Xiaolun shot up and hurriedly asked, "Do you know anything about this wall?" Nam answered honestly, "I only know that the wall is a living organism and it has its own will." Hearing this, he was stunned. A living organism? We're living inside a living organism. This is just too bizarre. Nam had no other choice but to give a reminder. "I think you should ask that black egg. It might know more than I do, but it just shook its head helplessly. I don't know. My memories start from the moment I and Xiaolun first saw each other," Xiaolun suggested, "but you can draw the map." "You have to know something, right?" The black egg could only clarify, "The map exists because I discovered a singularity point." Hearing this, Xiaolun was bewildered. "What is a singularity point?" Nam chimed in with an answer. "A singularity point is a place where time and space are distorted, right?" The black egg moved closer to the map and pointed. "Before this, we passed through two singularity points, and through them, two places were connected, which is how we suddenly appeared here." Xiaolun asked blankly, "So if we want to go back, we have to go through these two singularity points, right?" It stated bluntly, "That's not possible. Because these two singularity points disappeared after I used them." Xiaolun was stunned and asked, "Then how can we get back?" The black egg quickly replied, "Through the key it has memorized our original location. You just need to find the keyhole created by the synchronization process. Then we can return." Hearing this, he recalled what happened yesterday. "Is the keyhole like the one on the red egg soldier from before?" It nodded in agreement. "That's right. That one was created to synchronize with this side." Xiaolun's eyes widened as he speculated, "Then what about the keyhole on this side? Could it be the place we were just sent to?" The black egg replied helplessly, "Originally, it probably was at that spot. However, while trying to grasp the singularity point, it was interfered with by an invisible force." That information startled him. An invisible force. It flew up high as it recounted, "I'm afraid this power will take us to a different place. Luckily, I had already copied the coordinates to the key, but the keyhole was taken out by that power." And she in the back was astonished. Taken out, even Nam furrowed his brow. Could it have been caused by the ghouls here? If that's true, we're in big trouble. Xiaolun squatted down to ask the black egg where was the keyhole taken from. It immediately pointed to a spot in this revealed area. The more he listened, the less he understood. "Why aren't you saying anything?" Suddenly, Nam came closer and pointed in one direction. "Black egg, this spherical place, do you know where it is?" It answered honestly. "This appeared when that area was revealed, so I don't know either." Xiaolun asked, doubtfully spherical. Looking closer, it's a circle on the map. A doubtful idea occurred to Nam. "Wait, they appeared together. Does that mean it can be found in the world of the giants?" The black egg immediately let out a loud hiss as if it had been found out. "Then it can be found here." Hearing that, he was startled. Nam's expression affected Xiaolun as well. "Black egg, I can be sure this isn't their first time here. From his calm reaction on the way, I already felt that something was wrong. It suddenly suggested I'll go ask him, hearing that Xiaolun frantically stopped it. Don't. If he isn't talking, it means he doesn't want to. Let's not make things difficult for ourselves. He must know quite a lot. If we can't find the key, he is our only way out. He made a request, so we must always stay by his side. Do not let them out of our sight. Black Egg immediately nodded in obedience. Meanwhile, Nam and Amchi were just as worried. Master, just now were we acting a little too friendly? It seems we should stop asking about the core issues for now. Just as they had that thought, Xiaolun suddenly turned to them. He gave a friendly smile which startled the two of them. He then asked Black Egg about that location where it was taken. Can't we narrow down the search area? It quickly replied, no problem. Actually, we can use the key's vision sharing function. Xiaolun asked blankly the key's vision sharing function. The man beside him was also startled and confused. He stood up pointing to the key. Using this key, Black Egg quickly affirmed, because the key and the keyhole are connected. The keyhole can see through the key, and the key can also see through the keyhole. Xiaolun got straight to the point then. So how do we do it? It didn't waste words and took the key. Give the key to me. Black Egg aimed the tip of the key at Xiaolun. Don't be afraid, just relax and then close your eyes. He obediently complied. Xiaolun slowly shut his two eyes tightly as a surge of power twisted from the key, its tip aimed directly at his eyelids. After a moment, Black Egg slowly spoke, all right. You can slowly open your two eyes now. Xiaolun did so, slowly opening his eyes. When he could see clearly, he was stunned, his eyes wide open. Inside his vision, Xiaolun saw a large vortex. The scene within gradually transformed. Is this the keyhole's point of view? Below this semicircular screen, I think it's a city. After a moment of adjusting, Xiaolun stared blankly at the tightly bound hands. Two hands. This keyhole is indeed on a person's body, bound like this. Could this be a prisoner being escorted? In that case, the person escorting them? He looked up at the figure in front. It must be that woman. She was sitting with an imperious air. Suddenly, she turned her head towards Xiaolun. Her hand gently performed a technique, and his vision began to blur. His field of view gradually narrowed and finally shut completely. The space was pitch black, but then Xiaolun's eyes shot open in shock. I've been hit. She discovered me. Black Egg saw his vivid expression and couldn't help but ask Xiaolun what happened. He hurriedly recounted what had just occurred. The keyhole was shut down by a mysterious girl. I'm guessing she's the one who took the energy source. And it seems she even saw me. It slowly explained, if the keyhole is attached to a living being, the pupils will change slightly during vision sharing. Nam asked curiously, in any case, if this girl has the ability to take things, it's possible she would notice you. Did you get a clear look at the surroundings? Xiaolun squatted down, drawing in the dirt with his finger. A city under a transparent white circular membrane, something like this. And this. After a moment of concentration, he managed to sketch it out. Then, judging by the scream, the person who is the keyhole is a woman. Moreover, her two hands were bound tightly. Amchi was stunned, bound. The keyhole's identity is a prisoner, or something being escorted. He asked for more details. What about the situation? Is there any other information? Hearing this, Xiaolun continued to point out the young-looking woman in a pure white outfit who had just emerged from the opening. On her two sides were two other people, and they seemed to be in a cave. And they're looking at the semicircular screen city ahead. You mean it's right here? Seeing two figures in concealing clothes down below, Nam immediately asked for more. What about the other two people? Can you see their faces? How are they dressed? Xiaolun looked up and replied, these two are clearly bigger than the woman in white. One is wearing a hood, so I can't see their face. I don't know if they're giants or not. Black Egg suddenly held the key and came closer. That's right. Little one, I forgot to mention the numbers on this countdown represent the time the key has left to exist. He asked with a blank and innocent look. Time to exist. What does that mean? Black Egg had to explain. It means that when the time resets to 0, the key will disappear. After hearing that, Xiaolun finally realized the seriousness of the situation. What's so serious suddenly? Pham shot up and signaled to be quiet. There's movement. The two of them immediately bolted backwards as a black shadow suddenly emerged from the crevices of the rocks. He urgently whispered, we have to get out of here quickly. As he was speaking, Pham suddenly froze behind Xiaolun. A figure had appeared out of nowhere. Nam immediately screamed, "Xiaolun behind you!" He was startled and turned to see Manito holding him tightly. Xiaolun was quickly dragged to the ground by her. Seeing this, he rushed toward Xiaolun. He gritted his teeth, trying to remove the thing wrapped around him. "What is this wrapped around my stomach? Are these vines? I can't pull them off. Even Black Egg can't resist the strength of it." Manito. Both of them were gradually being dragged by her towards the rock crevice. "Damn it, let go." Suddenly sounds echoed from within the crevice. Nam was startled and panicked when he heard them. A foot slowly stepped out from inside. D stepped out arrogantly from the rock crevice. Nam immediately got into a fighting stance. With one hand, he easily grabbed Black Egg D, and Manito held the two of them tightly. Holding Black Egg and Xiaolun, he suggested, "Let me borrow this ancient Black Egg relic for a moment, all right? In return, I can tell you where that city is." He was immediately startled when he heard that. Ancient egg relic, why would he call Black Egg that? D asked again in a loud voice, "How about it?" Nam didn't answer. Instead, he questioned, "When did you people start following us?" The woman holding Xiaolun quickly answered, "It all started when you were playing hide-and-seek with those Tinos at the Desire Human Land. But you guys are way too slow. It took you so long to notice us hearing that." His eyes widened in shock. What it all started way back then. He seemed to have lost his patience. D growled, "This is so annoying. I'm asking you how about it." Nam immediately shouted back, "How about what you've taken hostages? Is that how you make a request?" Manito said sarcastically in a low voice, "A request, as if we need to make a request to you. We were trying to be nice, but you just don't get it." Xiaolun also paid attention to her words. D smirked defiantly. "So be it. So you're saying our negotiation has failed? Then I will kill the masked man. You don't have a problem with that, do you?" Xiaolun, the master of the relic egg, was stunned. "Wait." Suddenly, with a gleeful smirk, D charged at Pham with incredible speed. He was so fast, Pham couldn't react. D struck, but his blow passed right through Pham. Feeling nothing, Pham was shocked. "What's going on? Did he just phase through my body?" He charged straight through Pham, then turned around again, using his speed to relentlessly attack Pham from all sides. Meanwhile, he was still bewildered. What is happening? Why does he keep passing through my body like this? It wasn't until he took a direct hit that Pham was stunned. What? It wasn't an afterimage. A barrage of punches rained down, leaving him no time to defend. Damn it. This time it's a physical attack. Is he using a clone as a diversion? To distract me and then attack with his real body, I see. I've figured out your little trick. Now just you wait for my counterattack. Then another figure suddenly appeared behind Pham, shocking him. It was a clone of Pham himself, created by D, who wore a cunning smirk. "So it turns out the thing you fear most is yourself without a mask." Stunned, his eyes wide with horror, Pham angrily dodged the approach. "You bastard! You probed my mind." D stepped back, sneering, "How ridiculous. This is the first time I've ever seen someone afraid of their own face without a mask. What the hell is this?" As if his deepest nerve was struck, Pham flew into a rage. "Bastard!" The two clashed fiercely, prompting Manito, who was watching from the side, to remark, "Is this guy creating explosions by compressing air?" Xiaolun yelled a warning. "Pham, don't be fooled. That guy never left. He's been right beside you this whole time." Pham froze on the spot. "What?" Xiaolun shouted to Pham. "He's not attacking at all. The one fighting you is an illusion." D immediately retorted, "If it's an illusion, how could I hit him? One thing at a time." He was instantly shocked. Is he simultaneously creating both real and illusory clones? From behind, Manito smirked excitedly. "Your perception is pretty terrible. It's been one-on-one this whole time, you know. A single clone is more than enough to deal with him." Xiaolun froze. "Huh." D smirked shamelessly, showing off. "It's my ability. I can freely swap places between my real body and my clone. I can swap entirely or just swap a single body part." Hearing this, she was startled and snapped, "Hey, why would you just go and reveal your ability like that?" No wonder Xiaolun was also stunned. He can swap his entire body or just parts of it. Reality and illusion can be switched continuously, but why would he tell me about his ability? He answered honestly, "This is my sincerity." Xiaolun frowned in thought. This guy is being sincere on his own terms, but revealing his ability also shows he really wants Black Egg's help. Very quickly, Dai returned to the battle. Look, he's been caught over here. Dongnam was not only captured, but also beaten to a pulp. Di turned to Xiaolun with a serious face. Is he an ally? But from what I've observed along the way, it seems he has a different goal than you, right? Although Xiaolun didn't answer, doubts arose in his mind. Not exactly allies, we've only just met. Although I don't know his motives for approaching me. Xiaolun glanced at Flam Hung. My own reason for relying on him to find an escape route isn't exactly pure either. We're just using each other. No point in worrying about it, right? Black Egg quickly replied, my life also depends on Little Lun, so it's also mutual use. I'll listen to you. Those sincere words moved Xiaolun. Xiaolun decided to take a gamble. Di, let's have a serious negotiation. To achieve his goal, Di immediately ordered Manito let him go. She was a bit reluctant, but he didn't hesitate to shout quickly in the end. Although unwilling, Manito still put him down. Dai eagerly proposed, let's hear it. Xiaolun quickly demanded release Dongnam. He happily agreed that's easy enough. Xiaolun frowned and added seriously, and another thing, I want you to personally lead us to that city. Just those 2 conditions, that's all. Hearing this, Dai paused. Behind him, Manito unhappily yelled, you dare make demands of us, and you want him to personally escort you. Xiaolun immediately retorted. He emphasized the 2 words, negotiation. You tell me, what is a negotiation? His words left her speechless. After hearing that Dai had to laugh out loud, amused. You've got guts. Black Egg, standing by, was panicking non-stop. Little Lun, what if he doesn't agree? Xiaolun quickly reassured it as well as himself. He's so strong, just having him as an escort will be intimidating enough. Besides, he's the one who asked for your help. As long as our demands aren't too unreasonable, the chance of him agreeing is still very high. So even if I'm bluffing, I have to be firm about it. Without a word, Dai strode closer to Xiaolun. He leaned down, looking straight into his eyes. Looking at your eyes, are you so sure I'll agree? Xiaolun's gaze didn't waver in the slightest. This intrigued Dai, making the corners of his lips curl. He finally agreed for now. But first, I need to see if it can handle the tasks I give it. Those words made Black Egg break out in a cold sweat. What on earth do you want it to do? Dai stated his simple request with satisfaction. Help me control the corpse of the giant. Xiaolun was stunned and asked the corpse of the giant, what is that? Dongnam was just as startled as he was. Afterwards, Dai generously released Black Egg, saying, go on. As soon as it was freed, it resentfully snuggled into Xiaolun's arms. Xiaolun carefully picked Black Egg up to examine it. Can the thing trapping Black Egg be removed? Dai replied nonchalantly, it's just a safety precaution. Let's go. A cry also came from over here. Startled Xiaolun turned toward Dongnan and asked with concern, are you okay? He quickly steadied himself. I'm fine, you don't need to support me. At Nan's words, Xiaolun, who was about to help, stepped back. He hesitated and said, I've already agreed to help them, so we have to temporarily get along with them. But after what just happened, he was so furious he wanted to rip the other guy to shreds. Living in peace with that guy is absolutely impossible. Seeing this, he could only give a helpless, bitter smile. It seems he's furious, so it's best to say less and not provoke him further. Dai quickly went ahead to lead the way. Xiaolun asked in confusion, hey, wouldn't it be faster to ride the giant monster? But he bluntly asserted, we don't need that thing. Xiaolun looked confused, glancing from Dai to the monster. Oh, really? That's right. Black Egg. How much longer can you control this giant monster? It thought for a moment before replying less than half an hour left. He seemed to have a plan in mind. That's enough. Tino's, which was lying still, suddenly sprang up. It dashed through the crevice in the rocks and bolted. Go run wild, you giant beast. The farther from here, the better. Seeing this, Dai couldn't help but nod. Oh, this kid's got some brains. The group quickly made it inside. Xiaolun suddenly broke the silence. Manito just said the merman was missing. Was that your comrade? Was he human before? She immediately snarled in frustration. Yes. By the time we arrived to save him, it was already too late. He had been put into the human incubator orb before that. It was all that damn Fan Law's doing. He wanted to lure Dai out. How despicable. Even he got so angry his face turned pale. That one-eyed monster. I'll chop it in two sooner or later. It was only then that the boy realized, so they came to this human nursery to save a comrade and then found us. A button appeared on the cliff face. Dai stepped forward and pressed the button. A secret door immediately opened. Xiaolun stared down in amazement at the area below. A tunnel down there, huh? He peered cautiously into the deep pit. But there are no stairs. Suddenly, his hand was on Xiaolun's neck. Di lifted his foot, planted it on the boy's back, and with a single easy kick, sent Xiaolun flying down, causing him to scream horribly. Seeing him in danger, Black Egg frantically shouted Xiaolun. He was pushed into a bottomless space portal, and it dove after him without hesitation. Dai just stood there watching with a smile. Without a second of hesitation, he bent his knees and dove straight into the portal. Manito's group suddenly materialized from the shadows. Dongnan and Anchi stared at her. Manito just shrugged and said, "Don't look at me. You go by yourselves. Take this." She pulled out a cocoon and gently held it out in front of him. Dongnan took it, looking at it dubiously. "This is a cocoon." Watching Dai's retreating figure, Manito said, "Just stick it onto your skin. I'd advise putting it on the back of your neck or on your back." Suddenly, Dongnan, holding the cocoon, turned with a start to face the portal. Seeing him looking stunned, she stepped forward. "I'll cover our backs. You hurry and go." Back to Xiaolun, who was in freefall. He felt something strange and uncomfortable on his neck. Weird. Why is my neck so itchy like this? He reached for the back of his neck and suddenly felt a cocoon. While he was still confused, Dai caught up from behind. Di grabbed Black Egg, ignoring its struggles. Xiaolun's face turned pale. Wings. Seeing his bewildered look, Dai couldn't help but tease him. "Don't be so foolish. Use your mind to control the butterfly wings on your nape." Xiaolun came to his senses, his hand still pressed against the cocoon. "You're the one who's a fool. You kicked me for no reason at all. I don't understand a thing, and you're telling me to control what butterfly wings?" He didn't bother bickering with Xiaolun anymore and quickly flew away. "We're almost there." "Good luck, Xiaonan," Black Egg shouted. Xiaolun yelled, "Hey, wait!" He gripped his hand tightly, gritting his teeth and cursing to himself this despicable guy. Is this how you treat someone who asks for help? From a distance, he sent a telepathic message. "Xiaonan, hurry and spread your wings like he did." But Xiaolun also wanted to try, but with this cocoon on my back, He just said to use my mind to control this thing on the back of my neck. Seeing the ground below, he panicked. "Hey, I'm really about to hit the bottom." Xiaolun's two eyes were squeezed shut, his whole body breaking out in a sweat. "Hurry, hurry, spread your wings for me." It struggled anxiously in Dee's grasp, crying out Xiaonan. The cocoon on his neck suddenly cracked open, releasing a lot of dark energy. Just as Xiaolun's head was about to hit the ground, the dark energy suddenly split into two large ribbons that rose up to catch him. "Spread for me." The ground suddenly cracked as he flew up into the air. From behind him, streams of energy gathered to form a pair of wings. He and Black Egg watched this scene with question marks over their heads. Dai smirked as he evaluated the wings. Butterfly wings have a fragile, delicate structure. They're merely a tool for flight, possessing no power whatsoever. His gaze shifted to the cracked ground. "What's with these cracks on the ground? Don't tell me this kid's butterfly wings have changed their attribute." Xiaolun excitedly looked left and right at his wings. "Wow, this is amazing. I can really fly." Suddenly, Dai felt a flicker of interest. "This kid's ability is rather interesting, isn't it?" Dongnan's voice came from above him. "Xiaolun, are you still okay? That guy likes to play dirty tricks. You have to be careful." He looked up. Luckily, at the last second, these butterfly wings managed to spread out. Black Egg was released and rushed toward Xiaonan. Dee gave a sly smile, glancing sideways at him. "Playing dirty tricks, are we? That's the pot calling the kettle black. Weren't you also testing his abilities? And what if I wasn't? Was that Tinus so weak that it was pinned to the ground after just a few hits?" Hearing this, Anju was the first to react. "It's not like that. If it wasn't for Master being..." Dongnan, seeing it was about to slip up, shouted, "Anji, say no more. You can never reason with a person like him." Di was unafraid. On the contrary, he issued a challenge. "Does someone who lost at my hands even have the right to speak to me?" He gritted his teeth. "If you're so great, then fight me one more time." Dai paid him no mind and quickly turned to leave. "You should tone it down," Dongnan shouted from behind him. "Stop right there." Xiaolun was speechless. "I was the one you all played dirty tricks on, and I haven't said a thing yet. You guys are fighting amongst yourselves." He flew after him. Ji beside him asked doubtfully, "Master, what's wrong? This is completely unlike you." Dongnan sighed. "I'm sorry. Ever since that guy saw into my heart, I've just felt so irritated and uneasy." It looked at him with worried eyes. "Master, Dongnan reassured it, "Don't worry." After calming down and flying for a while, they arrived at a colorful mountain range. Xiao Luan, flying behind, looked around and asked what on earth this place was. "On Huan. This is a completely different landscape." He led the way and answered, "This is the Black Tree Grotto, one of the ruins of the ancient eggs." Hearing this, Xiao Luan was surprised as if he remembered something. Ancient egg ruins. Black Tree Grotto. Ah, that's right. Earlier, you called the black egg some kind of ancient relic. Why call it that? Dai glanced back and slowly explained, 100 years ago, this place was just like you are now. Everyone had an egg by their side. But then someone from the forbidden land of the egg world brought back some kind of disaster. It caused the eggs to gradually disappear, and eventually this place became the lifeless husk it is today. Hearing this, Xiao Luan couldn't contain his curiosity. The forbidden land? They disappeared then. Does that mean no one has an egg by their side anymore? Dai nodded and patiently explained, "That's right. They're almost extinct. That's why they're called ancient egg creatures. However, there is one exception, an ancient egg relic called the giant's shell." A surprised Xiao Luan blurted out, "Is that the giant's shell? You said you want the black egg to control. What on earth are you planning to do?" Dai's brows furrowed as he gave a serious nod. "That's right. I want to control the giant's shell to find the poison flower of the Hun tree." Xiao Luan was hit with one surprise after another. "And what's the poison flower of the Hun tree?" The girl flew up in front of him impatiently. "It's the antidote for gigantification. If we get it Dee's hand, and his mother will also—" Dee cut her off, shouting. Manito shut up as if he understood something. Xiao Luan thought to himself. His hand and his mother's. They've both been gigantified. His eyes shifted towards that gloved hand. No wonder he's wearing such a big glove. Xiaolun's gaze remained fixed on that hand. Proportionally, Die's hands aren't even 1/3 the size of that one-eyed giant's. This gigantification substance. It must be constantly eroding his body, he secretly surmised, thinking it must be a bitter experience. Sensing his look of pity, Die turned around. Die spoke in a clear and firm voice. "Listen here, Xiao Luan. You don't need to worry about anything else. Just help me find the poison flower of the Hun tree." Hearing that, he pushed aside his worries and said, "Okay." "Oh, right, Dai. Earlier you said someone from the forbidden land of the egg-shaped world brought back a disaster. Did you all know this world was egg-shaped from the start?" He turned slowly, walked forward, and nodded. "That's right. I learned it from my mother. She called this egg-shaped world the Egg of Life. The Egg of Life. What on earth is this egg-shaped world? Did your mother say anything else?" He shook his head nonchalantly, that's all. On deeper topics she would say no more. Seeing his expression, Xiao Luan didn't ask further. Amchi, walking beside Dong Nam, sent him a telepathic message. "Master, the forbidden area that guy mentioned must be that circular central region, right?" Dong Nam frowned, his expression turning grim. "It must be. The crow demons have always been scouting that central area. But there was absolutely no information. The deeper we went, the gloomier the mountain became. I can't believe we found it on the Black Egg map now. We have to let the demon crows know. This Black Egg and Xiaolun will likely become their targets." After a moment of silence, he could not help but speak up. "Dai, actually, to be honest with you, we have less than 21 hours left. So we have to find that city quickly." Pausing for a moment, he gave Xiaolun a reassuring look. "Do not worry, I know the fastest way there. Besides, my business will not delay us for too long." After saying that, Di quickly flew down. "Let's go. We have arrived." Hearing that Dong Nam was startled the moment he looked down, the guy next to him was also slightly surprised. As soon as he touched the ground, his wings retracted, and Xiaolun exclaimed, "These butterfly wings are incredible. They even retract on their own command." As he walked and looked around, he noticed something. "By the way, what is this thing wrapped up in a bundle over here?" Seeing Xiaolun's eyes fixed on the cocoon, she spoke up. "These are protective cocoons. If Dai and I were not here, you all would have already become its food." Xiaolun did not answer, but was surprised in his heart. So there is a living man-eating monster inside this cocoon. His footsteps stopped beside the cocoon. Watching it twitch slightly, Xiaolun thought it was rather terrifying. Then they continued deeper with Dai in the lead. He stopped and spoke. "We are here." Dong Nam and he looked on and were momentarily stunned. In front of them was a giant egg. bound by 5 iron chains. This is the giant's shell. It is so much bigger than their black egg. Dai shook his head, raising his hand forward. Shall we make a move? No. The eggshell was slashed open, revealing a blue-black egg inside. The whole group was startled, standing frozen without a word. He pointed inside, breaking the silent atmosphere. Kid, do you see clearly what is inside? That is its true form. Their eyes were all fixed on the giant inside. Xiaolun used telepathy to speak with his. Though it is almost as big as you, my black egg, the blue light around it. It feels very dangerous. In fact, in less than 1 day, it has already formed so many layers of shells. His eyes widened. 1 day? By the way, how does it make people giant eyes? She did not answer, but walked towards the giant. Then she poked the huge eggshell with her finger. The main giant eyesing effect is in this 3rd layer. Have you all noticed the giant sphere in the sky over the giant breeding grounds? As if realizing something. He nodded and replied, I understand now. They use its shell to make the sphere to carry out the giantization. She nodded, her voice faltering slightly. That is right. This giant's shell works through this method, to turn this world into this demonic state, and then to enact their hegemony. Hearing this, Xiaolun felt doubtful. Then Di walked over and used his gloved hand to pull the giant out. He pulled it out slowly but decisively. Dai grabbed the chain embedded in its back. His eyes grew cold as he shouted, the existence of this relic is a disaster. It sensed the danger and could not help but speak up. You stinking brat! You are hurting your granddaddy. Hearing that, Dai spat without hesitation and cursed. Granddaddy my ass! The giant snorted coldly. How dare you speak to your granddaddy like that? Want to find the poison tree's flower? No way. He brought it before Black Egg. Quick, restrain it for me. It was about to say something when the giant cut it off. What about that thing? Besides having me, are there other side effects? Absurd, absurd, what's so absurd? The giant scoffed. So ignorant. This air still contains remnants of the fatal spores. If it weren't for this great one in there, creating a protective shell, you would have been dead long ago. Xiaolun caught the main point and asked, can you explain what these fatal spores are? Before it could answer, Dai explained, it's the plague from the Forbidden Zone I told you about. From behind, she stepped forward and added, this fatal egg. To the eggs, it is a terrifying existence, but once absorbed, it becomes a deadly poison. Later on, this fatal egg seems to react to the environment here. It can evolve into a microbial form, constantly reproducing in the air and ultimately causing a mass death of the eggs. Xiaolun worriedly asked, what about Black Egg? Are you feeling uncomfortable anywhere? It shook its head. I don't feel uncomfortable. Not at all. In fact, I feel more comfortable living here. Seeing everyone staring, the two of them began to communicate telepathically. Xiaonei, did I say something wrong? Ignore them. As long as you're okay, that's what matters. He turned to look at the man, then at the creature. Dongnan, how is your Anqi? Dongnan, who had been observing, shook his head. It's fine. As if he had figured something out. This means it's probably a difference between worlds. He didn't tell Xiaolun the truth that it wasn't when Anqi was first brought to the world of giants. That it was almost poisoned to death. It looked left and right, unsure what to say, and kept quiet. Both Dongnan and Anqi turned in unison to look at Black Egg, who could survive freely among the fatal eggs. Is it because it has some kind of immunity? Or like the fatal eggs, did it also come from the central region? His eyes were glued to it and Xiaolun. That's why it might be unaffected by the plague from that place. The mysteries surrounding it just keep piling up. The woman's voice cut through Dongnan's thoughts. I'm very curious. In your world, does everyone really have an egg? He nodded. That's right. Everyone does. Seeing no one was paying him any mind, Dai shouted, stop being curious about this and that Black Egg, hurry and control the giant's husk for me. But Black Egg shook its head, suggesting, we have to wait a little longer. Keeping Xiaonei in combat form used up a lot of energy, so it will take a bit more time to activate the Lianqing Stone's power. He was starting to lose his patience. He frowned and asked, when will it be ready? Give me a specific time. Black Egg thought for a moment, then hesitantly answered, this fatal egg is nourishing my body, so I should recover faster than expected. About 15 minutes should do it. The giant in Di's hand trembled as it retorted, liar, don't you lie to this great one. How could a fatal egg possibly nourish you? It looked extremely agitated. Black Egg shook its head and mumbled, I'm not lying. The furious giant, still in disbelief, roared, "You are lying!" From behind, someone hurried over. Di Xuan is awake. His eyes widened in disbelief, and he asked again, "Really? My mother is awake?" The person nodded. "Yes." After getting confirmation, Di tossed it towards the large eggshell. "Lock it back up." She nodded. "Yes." Tai quickly squeezed past the two people and left. Watching his retreating figure, Xiaolun turned around. "Let's follow him too." After walking for a while, they arrived at a cave. He looked around, frowning, as he thought this place has so many forks. It will be easy to get lost if we don't stick close. I wonder where all these paths lead. While lost in thought, Xiaolun suddenly noticed something different up ahead. Everyone followed in his footsteps. I remember Dai once said this place is the Black Tree Pit, one of the ancient ruins. Just as we stepped inside, the final gate opened. So this is the central area of the ruins. Xiaolun's gaze swept around, landing on a carving on the wall. He slowed his pace to observe it more closely and suddenly noticed something in the carving's hand. The person in this mural is holding an egg, aren't they? Are these little dots lined up inside the egg supposed to be people? So strange. Wait a second. He and Black Egg stopped, their eyes glued to the image on the wall. Could this be a miniature depiction of our egg-shaped world? Xiaolun squinted for a closer look, and then he realized. So these little dots are us. No way. Behind them, Dongnan and Anji also noticed. Using telepathy that only the two of them could hear, Anji spoke. "Master, didn't we hear before that we just need to find the Demon Crow's number, and that we could then find the true exit of the Egg of Life now, looking at this mural? Could it be that the location drawn on it is the actual position of the exit?" He pondered while looking at the black dots on the egg. And if this place is the egg ruins, then it's likely a place of worship for the egg. If the true location was known, the exit would have been discovered long ago. It frowned and sighed, its voice faltering. Compared to finding the exit right now, I'm more concerned with finding a way to stop that guy from controlling you, Master. Hearing Anzi's words, Dongnan's expression darkened, and he fell silent. After a brief pause, it reminded him again, "Master, we should hurry and absorb the black egg's energy. Right now, I still have no way to use my powers to help you." Dongnan replied, "I know you're worried about me, but I'm really fine. That guy modified you. He captured Faye to threaten us into finding the world-ending egg so he can absorb its energy.